Good morning and welcome to Rochester Speaks. I'm Pat Rivers. On this segment, the Finger Lakes Musical Theater Festival, Merry-Go-Round Playhouse, headquartered in Auburn, will present Austen's Pride, a new musical of Pride and Prejudice at Nazareth College Art Center's Callahan Theater this summer. The festival will produce the new musical from July 13th through the 24th here in Rochester as part of its regional expansion project and dynamic 2016 season. And about the Finger Lakes Music Theater Festival, situated in Auburn, 4 hours from New York and between Syracuse, Rochester, and Ithaca, the festival is one of the largest producing musical theater organizations in New York State outside of the Big Apple. It has provided over 40 years of top-notch entertainment to over 68,000 patrons each season and is routinely recognized by industry press for its artistry and execution.
I don't know why you need us.
I know,
you just did it all.
It was well written by the press release here, which is great. I'd like to welcome to the show Brett Smock, producing artistic director of the Finger Lakes Musical Theater Festival, and with Brett, Erin Craig, the musical producer of, I'm assuming, the new musical, the Jane Austen musical.
Yes, I'm a consulting producer with the festival this year, specifically working on Austen's Pride here in Rochester, and I am from Rochester originally.
Oh, you are.
So I get to come home and actually work on a new musical here with the festival.
I see. That must be a thrill for you.
Yes, it is.
So whereabouts in Rochester?
I went to Pittsford-Mendon High School.
Okay.
So grew up both in West Irondequoit and in Pittsford-Mendon. And actually got to study at Nazareth College when I was in high school as well.
Oh, my goodness.
Old stomping grounds.
It's almost like coming full circle here.
It is. And so it's a real treat. And I am grateful to the festival and to Brett for giving us this opportunity.
Well, we'll talk about Austen's Pride in just a little bit here. But first, Let's talk about the Finger Lakes Musical Theater Festival. I heard about it, but I've never really known too much about it. You're expanding here in Rochester now because Auburn really is where it all happens.
Correct. Our flagship operation is in Auburn, headquartered at the Merry-Go-Round Playhouse in Emerson Park. In addition to that, we have another venue called Theater Mac, which is in downtown Auburn. And this summer, we will expand into Rochester with the Callahan Theater stage here. So we'll operate 3 venues this summer as under the festival umbrella.
Okay, so 40 years, though, for the festival. It's got quite a run.
Well, in addition to that, we operate one of the nation's largest resident touring youth operations as well. So it's a significant operation there. Their programming is calendar year, and ours is summertime, and now we bleed into the fall as well. So there's quite a bit happening in Auburn.
So the festival itself runs a long time. It starts this summer, goes all the way to the fall, like
Correct.
You mentioned.
We open June 1st and we close November 19th.
Wow.
8-show season, one of which will be in Rochester, and 7 of which will be in Auburn.
That's true. So that's a big undertaking for you and your staff.
It is, actually. It is, but we're excited about it. Of our 8 shows, 4 are classics and 4 are premieres. Something that we're passionate about and dedicated to at the festival is the development of new works, and we're excited to be able to give light and opportunity to 4 new musicals as part of our mission and part of our reach here.
Now, the Merry-Go-Round Playhouse, that's kind of a neat name. Where did it get its name from?
Began as a historic carousel building, which we then have renovated several times over the course of its long life.
Okay.
And it is now a state-of-the-art theater in Emerson Park with the shell of the existing carousel still intact, and then the sort of more modern piece attached to the end.
Okay.
So it's a very unique and interesting space.
How many people can seat?
501.
Okay.
501.
So it's a little intimate.
Yeah. I think
nice.
it holds a great amount of people, and yet no one is removed from the experience at all. It's still very close and upon you.
That's kind of like a few of our theaters here, Jiva Theater in one, and then Blackfriars Theater, which is another smaller venue, and you're like really, literally right there on the stage almost.
Makes the experience exciting.
And you have some good shows coming for this festival. Oklahoma is one of them. Tim Rice's new musical, From Here to Eternity. If you want to expand on any of those, just give us a little briefer.
Well, it's been 18 years since we've seen Oklahoma, so patrons have expressed their great desire to have the show back, and we're glad to bring it back for them. It is selling incredibly well, so if anyone's interested in seeing Oklahoma, this is the time to get a ticket. From Here to Eternity is the U.S. and North American premiere of the title. Tim Rice and the London team will be with us in Auburn to continue crafting the piece as it makes its United States debut and with its eye on New York over the course of its development. Everyone knows the movie, of course.
Right.
The musical is adapted a little more closely to the novel. In addition to that, James Jones, who wrote the novel, his daughter Kaylee Jones will be with us as well.
Okay.
So it's a really cool project, a powerful piece.
And then any Rosemary Clooney fans out
Yes,
there?
Tenderly.
The Rosemary Clooney musical. That's going to
Yep.
be something.
We're the third theater in the country to do Tenderly. We're excited to bring this out as I think there are many, many Rosemary Clooney fans in our area, but across the country. Tenderly will play in October at the festival.
And she's related to George Clooney. She's his aunt.
Correct.
Not his mother or
Nope.
grandmother.
Correct.
People would think that sometimes.
You got it right. Yep.
And then there's something else we were just talking about at the open here, or before we began, the pitch, which is will run from June 16th through June 3rd. That's interesting. At 7 writing teams will be presenting 3 their new musicals.
As I said in the beginning, we are passionate and dedicated to the development of new works. And so each year at Theater Mackinac, our second venue, we create opportunity for 7 different writing teams to come to Auburn in a week's residency, wherein they get to work on their new musical and development. At the end of that week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they can present an hour of that material to audiences for feedback and a Q&A session. To date, we have had 47 new musicals come through Auburn, and we're excited for our 7-show lineup this season.
It sounds like Auburn's got its theatrical business together. You guys are keeping busy down there.
We are. I encourage people to come out and see us.
And so now you're expanding the festival into Rochester.
Yes.
Your reach is getting further out, and you're coming to
coming west.
Nazareth. That's
Yep.
great. For the brand new Austen, well, not the brand new, but Austen's Pride, a new musical of Pride and Prejudice. It's kind of new, right? It's a new approach.
Correct. I think the approach is incredibly new. This is a show that I came across and met Erin in 2011 at the New York Musical Theater Festival, where I first saw the show and fell in love with it.
Okay.
So we're excited 5 years later to finally be able to collaborate and bring it here.
Well, tell us a little bit about the show, if without revealing too much.
The show is actually Jane Austen writing Pride and Prejudice, so it allows for the audience to go on a journey of an artist through the process of this very well-known, obviously, novel of Pride and Prejudice. So for fans of Jane Austen, fans of Pride and Prejudice, they're going to get all of that Lizzie and Darcy and all of the Bennet family, as well as for those who don't yet know Pride and Prejudice, to actually get to experience the journey of an artist, the journey of a woman, the journey of somebody that we all have grown to love over the course of time.
Okay, so this is leading up to her time writing that book, right?
She originally wrote a novel or a manuscript called First Impressions.
Okay.
And this is her revisiting First Impressions. Sense and Sensibility actually had sold out, and the publishers were looking for a new piece of writing from her. And she said, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. Her sister encouraged her to take First Impressions, revisit it, and actually First Impressions ultimately became what we know as Pride and Prejudice over the course of 15 years. It was finally published.
So will there be an actress playing Jane Austen?
Yes, we have an actress who plays Jane Austen. There's an actress who plays Cassandra Austen, her sister, and they lead us through the world. So sometimes you have Austen interacting with the characters from the novel. Sometimes she's writing what happens. Sometimes they're guiding her to write. So it's really exciting.
Is it making its debut here in Nazareth, at the theater in Nazareth?
This is the Finger Lakes Musical Theater festival production will be the regional premiere. We are excited to be able to have this opportunity for us to do the show here this summer and, let it be seen and heard by audiences in Rochester.
So there's music involved. Somebody had to write all the music for this. That's quite an undertaking. Who's behind that?
Yes, we have 2 lovely women who wrote the show, and they collaborated to write all of it. Lindsay Warren Baker, who is actually a Rochester native, and Amanda Jacobs.
And they have strong ties to the Rochester area.
They do. As
I'm reading on the press release here. They're involved in Nazareth and I think Jacobs, University of Rochester, right? Eastman School of Music.
Yes.
Nice, good.
Yes.
How long did it take them to work on this project?
Well, my understanding is that they have been working on it for quite a while. I was introduced to it at the New York Musical Theater Festival when I worked with them on that production that they put together themselves in New York.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Brett Smock, producing artistic director of the Finger Lakes Musical Theater Festival, and Erin Craig, the musical producer of Austen's Pride, a new musical of Pride and Prejudice, all coming to Nazareth College Arts Center's Callahan Theater this summer, and it's part of the Finger Lakes Musical Theater Festival, which is our discussion here today. So why did you decide to come out to Nazareth at the Callahan Theater?
Well, the festival has, we wanted to bring theater to Rochester, and we were looking for a way to expand our reach a little bit.
Okay.
And through our partnership with Nazareth College, it made sense, and we were able to work out a very sort of symbiotic deal there, where we will bring in a show this summer, and we'll test it out and see how it does, and look to potentially continue doing that down the road.
Okay.
A lot sort of hinges on this summer.
What do you think of your thoughts on regional theater here in Rochester? It sounds like Auburn's doing pretty well with all the offerings that you have, but your thoughts here in Rochester?
I think there's terrific theater here in Rochester. You have Jiva Theater for sure, which is a landmark regional theater. In addition, you have the auditorium, which brings in all of the national tours and the road shows, providing sort of that direct from Broadway.
And then there's Blackfriars. There's a couple others too. There's a lot that we have, and it sometimes gets overwhelming because you want to see, you have to be at one theater and you got another one down the road. So
right. And I think a lot of times, you have to make that distinction between what is the professional theater, what is the community theater, what is the academic theater. In looking at Rochester by and large, there's quite a bit of the arts in this area.
Okay, so we're doing pretty good.
You are.
Yes. In my opinion, we're doing pretty good.
Yes.
So it's great to have the Finger Lakes Musical Theater Festival expanding up in our area. This could lead to good things down the road.
We think so. We hope so.
Now, if we want to know more, first of all, about the festival, where could we go? Are you on Facebook and a website?
Yep, on Facebook. The website is Finger Lakes MTF, musicaltheaterfestival.com. FingerLakesMTF.com.
That's easy to remember. We'll have that here at our studios in case anybody wants to call afterwards. And a little bit more about Austen's Pride, the new musical of Pride and Prejudice. Ticket information on that.
Visit the Musical Theater Festival's website, and all the information you need is there.
Okay, a little bit more about Austen's Pride. We still have a few more minutes. Brett, if you want to add some more about the show. I understand. Is it a comedy?
It is a comedy.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a serious drama.
No. This is a really
not.
intelligent.
Because
It's
I think
funny.
of Jane Austen as being serious.
Well, see, and I think that's an important point because I was someone who went to see this show a little begrudgingly. I was intrigued by it. I am not an Austenite. I am not familiar with the body of work as much, nor all that invested in it. So when I saw the show, I was immediately taken with it's not just its intelligence, but its humor. It's a very funny piece, and I think people who are Jane Austen fans are going to love it. But I think there's something to be said for people who are not, and it's worth giving this piece a shot because as romantic as it is extremely funny and refreshing and inspiring. So those were the reasons that I thought it would do so well here.
Okay, and I think that's good enough reason for us to check it out.
Terrific commercial appeal.
That's absolutely
Yes.
right. Would you like to add anything, Erin, in our remaining moments about the show and all the work that went into it and what you do with your role that you play?
I'm here to support and to help and to encourage people to come out in Rochester and actually see the show, give us their feedback, become a part of what the festival is doing here in Rochester. But I, too, just like Brett, I actually had never read Pride and Prejudice. I was not a Jane Austen fan, and I saw the musical, and I fell in love.
Okay, that's good that you straightened that out because
Yes.
I remember seeing, I don't know if it was on a cable TV show or one of the networks had Pride and Prejudice as a mini-series,
Right.
and it looked very serious, and you think
Right.
of Jane Austen as this very serious writer.
No, she's very funny in this piece.
That's something.
Yeah, she's very funny. She enjoys the journey of her characters. The characters, talk back to her when necessary. But like Brett said, in the end, you get the romanticism of Pride and Prejudice, but you are inspired by this woman's journey. I mean, it's incredible to me to see what happened back in the day is no different than what we go through now.
Another great theatrical offering for us to see this summer, coming to the Nazareth College Arts Center's Callahan Theater. Austen's Pride, a new musical of Pride and Prejudice, July 13th through the 24th. And like I said, it's all part of the Finger Lakes Musical Theater Festival this summer. Actually, running this going from I have the dates here. It's June 1st through November
19th.
November 19th, almost Thanksgiving time.
Yep.
So you'll be very busy.
Ready for the turkey.
During that period. That's right. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Brett Smock, producing artistic director for the festival, and Erin Craig, the musical producer, Austin's Pride musical producer. Thank you both, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Break a leg, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Yep.
Do they still say that?
They do, and we will.
Good.